I asked cleaners on Facebook if they wanted to know how to scale their cleaning business to $15,000 a month, $40,000 a month, or even $100,000 a month and beyond. And I was shocked at the number of cleaners that reached out and said, yes, I'm dying to know how to do this. Please teach me how to scale my cleaning business up. So today I'm going to share with you exactly what you need to do to scale your cleaning business from $0 to $100,000 a month and beyond. I'm Reuben with BookCleaningJobs. Let's get right into it. So the first thing that you need to know is that if you're going to scale your cleaning business from $0 to $100,000 a month, you're going to need to get the right customers, the right employees, and the right systems in place in order for you to hit certain revenue levels and then break through if you were to get stuck at those levels. And a lot of cleaners get stuck at certain levels, which is why I called out $15,000 a month, $40,000 a month, and then $100,000 a month and beyond. And you may not be stuck at exactly these levels, but you might be stuck somewhere around these levels, or you might be trying to reach these levels and struggling to get there. So if any of these numbers sound familiar to you, there's a reason for that, and I'll explain why as we get deeper into this video. So let's start from the beginning. If you're trying to reach your first $15,000 a month, what do you need to do in order to get your cleaning business from $0 to $15,000 a month, or maybe from a couple grand a month up to $15,000 a month consistently? What do you need to do? I put together this helpful chart. I thought that this would make it a lot more clear. At all of these different income levels, these different revenue levels, you're really trying to solve the same problems over and over again, which is to bring in customers, to get people to go and do the work, right? To have employees, and then also to have the right systems and processes in place so that you can actually get all of this done efficiently and not waste a lot of time and become unprofitable. This is how you're going to scale from $0 to $15,000 a month. On the customer side of things, the first thing that you're going to want to do is establish some sort of initial marketing channel. And for a lot of cleaners, that might be something like Yelp or Google local services ads or social media or neighborhood groups or something like that. Whatever works for you, just keep using that channel to book more and more jobs and get better and better at it. The more you use that channel, the more customers you bring in, the more your business is going to grow. If you find something that's working for you, if you find a honey hole on Thumbtack in your area and Thumbtack leads are just great for you, keep buying Thumbtack leads. If you find out that your neighborhood groups are really lucrative for you and you don't have to spend any money on ads at first, keep going back to your neighborhood groups. If you find that going out and doing cold calling or door knocking or something like that works for you, go deep on that. You really only need one marketing channel at this level in order to hit $15,000 a month. You don't need to get overly complicated here. In fact, I don't recommend you do a lot of different types of marketing at this stage. You can test little things here and there, but I wouldn't start out with doing 3 different marketing channels and splitting your budget 3 different ways. I would actually just narrow that down to one thing that works for you and go all in on that one thing. I've seen cleaners that go from $0 to $15,000 or $20,000 a month just doing Google local services ads, for instance. All they've done is get a Google business profile, get reviews on it, and then go register for the Google guaranteed Google local services ads program, and then take that all the way from $0 to $20,000 a month. Go deep on one thing. You really only need one channel at this point. And if you're going to bring in customers, then I want you to do 2 things. I want you to milk those customers for all that they're worth. I want you to get a review and a referral out of every customer that you work with. At these early stages, it's really going to help you to start building up a reputation. If you're a new company, or if you've not done a lot of business in your area, you may not have a ton of reviews on Google or on Yelp or Facebook or any of those places. So ask your customers, every single one that you work with, to leave you a review. Make it easy for them. Text message the review link over to them. Use a tap to review card. Whatever you got to do, ask them to leave a review, and then ask them for a referral. Make it easy for them to leave you a referral, right? You could leave a little referral message on the back of your business cards that says, hey, share this business card with a friend and they'll get 10% off their first cleaning. Something like that is a simple way to start bringing in referrals, but ask every single customer that you serve to leave you a review and a referral. Now, at this stage, I'm not going to have you hire any employees. I'm not going to recommend that you hire any employees at all. If you do hire employees at this stage, I want you to be aware of one thing, that it's going to come out of your profit margin. So if you're not making a lot of money yet, and $10,000 or $15,000 a month ultimately is not a lot of money in a business, especially once you start trying to split it with people, right? When you start trying to split $10,000 a month minus expenses between 2 people, there's not a lot of money to go around. And so I don't recommend that you hire employees at this stage unless your explicit goal is to not be in the day-to-day business. If you don't want to go out and do the cleanings, if you want to stay either back in the office and book jobs, or you have, let's say, a day job and this cleaning business is your side hustle, right? Then you may have to hire. You may have to hire somebody to go out and do the cleanings. But like I said, it's going to come out of your profit margin. So that's something to be aware of. If you hire at this stage, it's going to hurt the profitability in your business. It may free you up to do other things and to leapfrog to those next stages a little quicker, but there's a risk to it, right? There's a risk to your profitability. So I would not hire and then stay at this stage for too long. You're going to want to move up to the next level and start making at least $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 a month with your cleaning business as quickly as possible. Otherwise, it's going to be difficult to sustain with the cost of employees. The last thing I want to talk about is systems and processes. So if you're making less than $15,000 a month right now, then there's really only a couple things I want you to focus on. The first thing I want you to focus on from a system standpoint is your pricing system. How much do you charge for your service? When customers call you and they want a quote or an estimate, you should be able to call up your pricing on command. You should have it memorized. You should know what all of your extra charges are. You should know what all of your additional services are. You should be ready to provide a quote on any service that you offer on command, right? Ideally, you should be able to provide that pricing over the phone. If you have to go out and do in-person estimates for your type of cleaning, that's fine. Maybe commercial, you're going to go out and do a lot of in-person estimates, but for residential, if you can give people a price on the phone and know your pricing front and back, like the back of your hand, whatever the saying is, that's going to help you. That confidence in what your prices are, that's going to come across to your customers. It's actually going to help you book more jobs because your customers aren't going to feel like you're making the prices up on the spot. They're going to feel like they called a real company that knows what they're doing and understands their own pricing and isn't saying and as they try to add it up. So know your pricing. If you have to, write it down. Create a price sheet. That's going to be helpful for you later because if you have somebody else answer the phones at a later stage in your business, having a price sheet is really helpful. You can just hand it to the person who answers the phones, or you can hand it to your employees around the field and say, here's our pricing. This is how you price jobs. So if anybody asks for a quote, here's how to do it. The next thing I want you to focus on from a system standpoint is having a lead response system. So a lot of cleaners, they drop the ball by not responding to leads and phone calls quickly. And I know this because I've worked with cleaners for years and years, and I know that people who are making even $40,000, $50,000 a month still struggle to answer the phone and get back to calls on time. At these early stages, you can't really afford to miss any calls. You can't really afford to respond to leads a day or two later. You're probably not bringing in a lot of new leads in the first place. And what I mean by a lead is somebody calling your business or somebody filling out a form on your website or chatting with a chat widget on your website, right? However they contact you and requesting a quote, requesting an estimate. So when you get leads, when you get phone calls, answer the calls live when they come in. If you can't, have it go to a voicemail and record a professional voicemail greeting so they know they've reached the right cleaning company. Tell them to leave a message that will call them right back, or tell them that they can text you if you want them to text you, or tell them they can book online if they can book online. But make sure they know they've reached the right company and then call them back as quickly as possible. If you miss a call, try to get back to them in under 5 minutes. If you get a lead from your website, try to call them within 5 minutes. If you can get to them in under 2 minutes, even better. Most companies are not doing this. And the thing is, you lose 80% of the value of your lead if you don't respond to it in the first 5 minutes. So that's a lot of leads that you could potentially lose, a lot of business you could potentially lose out on if you just don't respond to leads quickly enough. So I'd hate to see that happen to you, but it unfortunately happens to a lot of cleaners. Don't let it happen to you by having a plan to do your lead response quickly, right? So if a lead comes in from your website, how are you going to respond to that quickly? First thing I would recommend, pick up the phone, call them as quickly as you can. Hey, it's Reuben at ABC Cleaning. Hey, I saw you requested a quote on my website. Here's what you needed. Here's my price. Here's what it includes. And I've got Tuesday available. You want to get that booked? Next thing you can do, let's say they don't answer, leave that in a voicemail. Leave the pricing and how they can book, your availability, all that information, leave it in a voicemail. Then open up an email, send them an email with the exact same information. Tell them how much the job's going to cost, tell them what you have available, and ask them if they'd like to get a schedule. Follow up all of those different ways, and you're going to book a lot more jobs. And if you do it quickly, you're going to win even more jobs. Ideally, what you want to hear from people when you call them back is, oh my gosh, I just hit enter and you called me right away. How'd you do that so fast? If you start hearing that from customers, then you're doing a great job. So respond to your leads quickly. At this stage, if you want to move through the $0 to $15,000 a month stage quickly, I recommend that you firm up your pricing. You start investing in one marketing channel that really works for you, and you get reviews and referrals from every single customer that you work with. That's the best thing I can recommend for you. Now, the next stage, if you want to hit $15,000 to $40,000 a month, let's say you're hitting about 15 grand a month, but you're stuck there and you really want to get past that. How do you do it? What else do you need in order to scale your business up to about $30,000, $40,000 a month? And like I said earlier, there's a reason I mentioned these specific revenue levels, because people who are stuck trying to get to $15,000 a month, a lot of times they're trying to do it alone. It's an owner-operator business. They're trying to do the cleaning. They're trying to answer the calls. They're trying to do it all on their own. And they're struggling to get to that $15,000 a month, mostly because they usually don't have a lot of customers calling them in the first place. They don't have a lot of leads coming in. So focusing on one marketing channel that works for you and just going deep on that's really going to help you. The next level that a lot of people get stuck at is that $15,000 level. Once an owner operator gets really maxed out and is doing like $15,000 a month, and I've seen a lot of people do 15K a month or even a little more with an owner operator, one person business. But you get stuck at that level because you start to realize I can't do all of this myself. Maybe you have too many customers calling. There's more jobs in a day that you can serve. There's more days per week that people are demanding of you to come work, and you can't do it, right? Your back hurts. You're getting tired. You're getting worn out. Or you're getting burnt out, right? So you got to hire. That's going to be one of the key things you have to do at this stage. So this is one of the levels that people get stuck at. Is around $15,000 a month when they make that transition from being an owner operator to being an employer, right? And needing to have somebody else involved in order to get the work done every week. It's a big step. So that's one of the reasons that people get stuck at this level. The next level that people get stuck at is after they've started hiring and they have their first employees out doing jobs, people get stuck at that level too. We'll talk about that one next, somewhere around the $40,000 level. And then after that, people get stuck again as they get a couple of crews on the road and they go, okay, I'm struggling to keep my crews busy, let alone scale up from there. How do I go even further? So that's where these revenue levels come from. I've worked with a lot of cleaners over the last few years, and I've noticed just talking with them that these are the most common points where people get stuck. We're going to do a 2-day live event where we go deep on each one of these and explain exactly how you can scale your cleaning business from $0 to $15,000 a month or $40,000 a month or even $100,000 a month and beyond. We're going to cover everything over 2 days. There's a super early bird discount. If you want to get it right now, go to bookcleaningjobs.com/scale up and grab your super early bird tickets. It's coming up in just a couple of weeks, so don't wait. The price is going to go up as we get closer to the event. So if you want the early bird discount, go grab it right now. And by the way, we also work with some cleaners directly to implement marketing growth plans in their business. So if you need help with marketing your cleaning business, go to bookcleaningjobs.com and request time to speak with us. If this video was helpful, hit like. If you have questions, leave them in the comments. I'm Reuben with Book Cleaning Jobs. I'll talk to you later.